I'm gonna wait until you can hear me. La 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 la. A chair, a scream, $1 million putt. Should fans be banned from the PGA for life? Welcome back to Two Off the Tee. I'm your temporary host, the better golfer, James Shin, and with me, my co-host, my brother, the titleist of loans, Jeff Shin. I have some very exciting topics for us to talk about, Jeff. On the tee box, I want to discuss the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Have you had a chance to see the drama about what's been happening with that, Jeff?
I got a chance to watch it. So, as you know, the little degenerate in me, I looked at the lines to see who would win, and I picked actually Siwoo Kim to win. He's been on a hot streak since the season started, so I did watch it. What do you want to talk about here on the waste management, James?
We'll get into your degeneracy in a little bit, Jeff. So
Okay.
first, I want to talk about the other little degenerate kid, Jack Doherty, I believe his name is. He paid someone $100 to scream "Jackass" like the Happy Gilmore guy in someone's swing. I forgot what the guy's name is. Mackenzie Hughes. I think the guy was in a fairway bunker, and this kid screamed "Jackass," and they threw Jack Doherty out and banned him for life. What do you have you seen that? What do you think about that?
I didn't catch that part of the round of what happened, but I definitely saw on social media the backlash of what he's receiving and paying some fan to say, hey, yell in the guy's backswing and say jackass. And obviously some of these guys that are, do you call them, influencers? But let's just say he's in that category. When I saw it, my first thought was like, yeah, this kid doesn't know anything about golf etiquette. But then at the same time, it's tough because the identity of the Waste Management Phoenix Open, it's designed that way, not necessarily to scream in someone's backswing and do that stuff, but the identity of the tournament is to party and get drunk. So when you have that atmosphere as a player, I think you have to expect a lot of different things to happen. James, so like what do you think of this guy?
Well, I think he's built his name off of doing silly pranks like that. I know he's gotten his reputation of being a punk kid. And I seen a video where he's walking around like this in the mall and he like bumps people. And then he's got some huge ass bodyguard with him. And like, he's like, what are you gonna fucking do? That's what he's kind of known for. And he's made a lot of money off of it. Now, I don't think he plays golf. So I don't think he understands that you're not supposed to heckle and do those type of things you would do at a different sport. Like at the NBA, if someone's doing a free throw, you can do all sorts of things, you know? And if you're at the NFL game or something or NHL, they do chants, they do all these things. So maybe he didn't know the proper etiquette of golf. So I'm going to give him that. But I think you could quickly catch on who anyone who has any common sense at golf is like, oh, everybody's quiet while they're putting or while they're doing something like this. So he made a big mistake. As far as the PGA banning him for life, that might be pretty severe. I mean, he should get some sort of ban, 4 years or something, but not for life. Because I mean, when he's older, I mean, he might mature and not do pranks anymore. So
So the waste management, though, at least my understanding and the whole identity of it, I've always seen it in videos where people get there really early, and it's mainly to get to the stadium, but they call it a coliseum, and it's hole 16 because of the par three. So that's what they're really famous for this tournament. And I think when you have a coliseum or the stadium, it's the only golf course and tournament that has it designed that way, where it does feel like you're at like a baseball game, basketball, any sporting event where you're in a tight knit group in a stadium where you cheer. So I know players have a theme song that they come out to, it riles up the crowd and it builds that atmosphere. Now it just seems like it has extended out where, yes, more people are getting drunk. I know last year it was pretty bad. And what they're saying for this year, it was toned down a lot in terms of the drinking and people getting drunk. Because I don't know how many videos every time waste management comes around, you see people walking and stumbling because they're so drunk. Now, to touch on the ban here for him, look, maybe it's pretty severe for a lifetime ban of what he did, and maybe he didn't know, or maybe he did. I The unpopular opinion would be severe, but at the end of the day, if the kid doesn't like, golf overall, and you ban him for life, I'm pretty sure he doesn't care. Like, if I were to like, you go to the Super Bowl event, and while it's not, I know we talk about golf, but like at the Super Bowl that just happened, there was a guy that was streaking. and he got a lifetime ban. How many opportunities do you think he's going to really have a chance to go to the Super Bowl? Probably a few only. So that lifetime ban doesn't seem too severe. And this Jack guy, while he just goes around and is, a troublemaker, what it sounds like, well, getting banned from a PGA event, it doesn't seem very severe. If anything, if you really want to police a lot of that stuff, you got to figure out a way to find these guys that are there that are, guests to the course and you're being disruptive.
I have to disagree. I think the ban is pretty severe, and like you said, if he might not like golf, but that could change in his life when he gets older too. Just like it's changed for a lot of people. A lot of people growing up, especially me and you, we didn't like golf when we are growing up, and we easily could have been one of those punk kids doing a stunt like that with technology today. And we could have just done it for the views and the clicks, because that's what content creators do. So I think it's a little severe, but I want to move forward because there was more drama than just Jack Doherty or
Well,
whatever his name is.
hold on.
Oh,
So you agree with him saying that everybody's soft and the prank was harmless?
so doing the content creator thing, and I'm not sure if I'm guilty of this too because I do have another content creator account for fun, and it's when something clicks or when something kind of gets it momentum, people are so addicted to doing that content over and over and over again. So his whole content is literally rage baiting people all the time. So him going back on video saying, "Ah, y'all are soft," it's just rage baiting. That's all it is. And people fall victim to that so often on social media that that's why I try to stay off social media like that too much because too much confirmation bias, too much rage bait. And sometimes I'll even find myself, I'll be like typing and I'm like, wait, no, 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 no. That's rage bait. I can't, I'm not falling for this. I'm not one of those people. So I think it's just rage bait that what he's doing. And I think he's doing a great job of causing clicks and getting paid. The kid has a Lamborghini. So, and he's like
Yeah, I mean,
18 years
he's
old or something.
sure. I mean, I don't know this kid. I don't even know why we're giving him a lot of the airtime that we're talking about. But since he did something stupid at the Waste Management, is the ban severe? Yeah, sure. Yeah, maybe later down in life when he matures that he really wants to go to his event. But I think that's also part of the consequence. Everything you do, there's a cause and effect, right? You're going to go around there. At least you're young. You want to be a dumbass. Okay. Right. There has to be consequences to that later down the road. Again, if he's banned from all these events, I don't think anyone's going to really miss him. He doesn't play golf. He's not going to grow the game. What contribution does he bring to it? I
Well,
mean,
he's got
so
a lot of fans. So
yeah, I mean, sure, he has a lot of fans, but he doesn't golf. So I really don't think anyone on the PGA wants to be interviewed by this kid anyways. So whatever, right? We don't need him around the golf courses. And yeah, maybe we're soft, but I promise you, if you were trying to distract him every single time that he was making a video that he couldn't do it, he wouldn't like that either. And if I'm out there playing for the purse was like 20 million out there, you're playing for millions of dollars here and you have someone trying to essentially screw you over. So imagine if we just followed this guy around everywhere he tries to record and he couldn't do it anymore. I'm sure he wouldn't be
sure.
happy about that.
I understand. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth, and I don't think this kid has been punched in the mouth yet. So there was also more drama, Jeff, at the Waste Management Phoenix Open, other than this kid. There was some drama on the 18th hole with Hideki. I
Yeah.
found out that someone screamed in his downstroke of his putt on the 18th green. Is it downstroke of putt or for? I don't know. He was about to hit a putt and the guy screamed and totally threw his confidence off, and then he had to back off and reset. What do you think about that?
I know I talked about it a little bit that I had a wager. So I had a wager on Siwoo Kim, and he was in the lead going, or not in the lead, but he was in the mix. So I was watching it Sunday with Hideki and Siwoo battling it out. So long story short, I closed out my position on Siwoo, took some profit on it because of the contracts, and then I put it all the profit that I had on it, and I put it on Hideki. So I watched all the way up to 18 before the playoff where he drove it, and I saw the ball land in the bunker, fairway bunker. And that's when I took off to get ready for the Super Bowl. So I took off then, and I missed that whole thing. I saw it in a group chat. They're like, "I'm watching Hideki mess up. He's falling apart." I'm like, "What the hell happened?" I mean, I bet on Kalshi now, and it said 96% chance of winning or 97% chance of winning. So I immediately was one of those fans. You know, they go to a sporting event and their team's blowing out their opponent, and they all leave, and they you turn around, you're like, "What happened?" Pretty much like the Bears game, right, against the Packers. You're down, and all of a sudden they're making a huge comeback. At least the fans stayed there, but I was the guy that left. So I totally missed all of that part of 18 and the putting. But yeah, again, it just goes back to the environment of waste management that I think originally the tradition of it was on hole 16, you get rowdy because it's a coliseum. You're in there, and that's the identity to, you know, rile up the crowd. And or you even see pros going, yeah, louder, louder, louder to do that. But I don't think it was expected to break out to other holes. And again, it just happens to, it's probably just due to drinking, right? That's the main culprit of the problem. So I didn't get a chance to see 18 on the putt, but I feel like Hideki, man, a lot of bad luck and stuff happening to him this year.
I didn't know there was more bad luck other than this event for
Well,
him.
no, I mean, it was more the whole, we talked about it a little bit, and I don't want to go too much into a tangent, but it was he got a huge offer with Live when they first came around,
Mm.
and he said no basically because of what the punishment or what PGA was saying what would happen. So he turned down a lot of money. Supposedly, I think it was over at 500 million, maybe 750 mil to join Live, and he
Wow.
turned that down. And, in an interview, they basically said, "Hey, what do you think about Brooks coming back?" He's like, "Well, great for Brooks to come back, but I really wish I knew that was out there that could happen." So he's a Masters champ too, and he sounds like a great dude on his interviews and very polite. So that's what I mean by like bad luck. It just seems like you
Oh.
turn down, let's just say right now, 750 million. I don't know if the number was actually disclosed, but for sure it was probably over half a billion. So imagine that you turn that down 5 years later and someone's coming back, barely a slap on the wrist to come back. And he's sitting there going, well, I wish I knew that was an option. So that's what I mean about the bad luck for him in terms of that and hole 18. So I didn't see that.
Well, $1 million is a lot of money, and I would have taken that money and I would have been like, I'm done with golf after 5 years. But if you didn't see what happened, I didn't see it either personally, and I didn't even watch the Super Bowl. But what happened is that on 18, on hole 72, someone screened while he was like right about the putt, had to back off. It was a 25 footer or something, and he missed it. And then so he went to a playoff, and then literally in his downswing, a chair falls and he stops mid downswing, has to reset, get back together, and then he pulls it left into the water. So,
So I did see that. I did get back in time to watch the playoff because I was like, what's happening? So I try to rush back as quickly as possible to watch that. So I saw that. I missed the part where he backed off. No, sorry, I take that back. I do remember seeing backing off. And I think originally the reports were at the time everyone was assuming we had another drunk fan or some fan just messing with Hideki, right? So
that's what they thought, yeah.
but it turns out it was a chair that fell or something, so the timing of it sucks. That's just unfortunate, and it really sucks because it sucks because I had money on him too, and I didn't realize it was going into playoffs. So it's funny when you watch it on Kalshi, it's a 96% chance going into 18 to win it, and then when playoffs started, 7% chance. I was like, "Nah, man."
Huh. Well, it's also funny because on 18, on the 72nd hole, he had a 25-foot putt to win. And I think any amateur would be like, "Oh, he wasn't going to make it anyways." But then in the playoff, the guy made a 27-foot putt for birdie, I believe. And that's how the playoff ended. So
Yeah.
it is kind of crazy that, yeah, a pro could make a 25 footer, 27 footer. I mean, those putts, they practice, I'm sure they practice those all the time. And it's just crazy to see that how something like that can happen to Hideki. The chair dropping, I guess, could have been an accident. Who knows? The fan screaming was probably inappropriate. I mean, someone's just trying to get their 15 minutes of fame. But Hideki took it like a champ. I want to read what he said because I can't say this for verbatim. He said was grinding all weekend, didn't have his best stuff, but he hung in there. He's gonna learn from it and just get back on the horse next week. So I mean, he took his whooping like a man, and he's moving on. So you can't really hate Hideki for that.
No, I mean, and that's the thing. I think culturally, we've seen it over and over in any sporting event for the Japanese culture, especially like the Olympics. Those fans are always cleaning up the stadium, just making sure that it's good. And I think culturally, it's always try to leave the place better than you found it. So I think for him, that response is, you know, typical Hideki. I will say that watching all of Sunday with him, I mean, he was all over the place. That driver just was not working, and that's why I was like, oh, let me ride this out with Siwoo. But actually, what's funny is that you brought up the putt of maybe like 25 feet that maybe he might make in the playoffs to tie it because he needed that because he actually needed one. I forget which hole specifically, but he was scrambling, and from the camera, it looked like it was a downhill putt, maybe about 25, 30 feet away. And I was really excited because if he missed that, well, now Siwoo was going to take the lead, and his percentage of winning probably would have jumped. And I don't know if I probably wouldn't have cashed out, but I would have felt a lot better about it because I got Siwoo so early. But once I saw Hideki make that putt, I was like, okay, I'm closing out my position here on I'm talking like I'm trading, but yeah, I closed out my position on Siwoo, and that's where I was like, okay, Hideki, he's struggling, but he's scrambling, and it looks like it's his tournament to win. So that's why I put all the profit on him. And yeah, stupid playoffs.
Well, Jeff, I think
It-
we'll have to let the audience comment on your degeneracy gambling and see if anybody else wants to get any tips from you on what bets to make. I want to move on to the front nine here. I want to talk about our golf league or your golf league, I guess, because it belongs to you. You want to change
Hours,
the name.
hours.
You want to change the name of the league. The league name, I don't know if people know this, but it's been called MGGA, and it started, what, 10 years ago? And
Yeah,
it it stands for Make Golf Great Again. We thought we didn't have a name, I think, when we started this, and I don't know if it was me or something. I was like, "Oh, let's just call it Make Golf Great Again." It wasn't even very popular back then, so the name stuck. Like, we thought it was hilarious, nothing political. But now you want to change the name to Path to Par Golf Club. Is that
that is
correct?
correct.
So we're a
That's
club now.
to add to it what you're saying of the MGGA, make golf great again. I mean, yeah, it was a timeline of when Trump, was running for office, and he got elected and won, and we were starting at the time our golf league, and we were just being funny. There was just nothing to it, right? It was just like, yeah, let's just call it MGGA. We're like, okay. And it was really just four of us that was doing it. And
I think it's
over the
5 of
course of
us.
just running it, we just never changed it, right? Well, four or five of us, yes, that we were just doing this, and all of a sudden the five of us became 10, and we just stuck with the name because I mean, who knew where it was going to go. One of the things that as soon as I saw 20 people sign up and we were doing this, I was like, okay, well, we're gaining a little traction for something just as a hobby. And I remember we were talking about this when we were playing Heritage Bluff. England asked, is like, oh, or not asked, but he's like, don't change the name. Why are you going to change the name? I was like, yeah, it's not scalable. And I mean, that's the main reason for changing the name. I mean, we're just younger and just being funny, but we never thought it was going to go anywhere. It was just friends playing. So that's why we had the name. But I feel like now we have 20, and I think the head count right now is possibly 30. So over the course of what we've been doing, it's gaining traction. So I just felt it would be an appropriate time to change the name and call it Path to Par Golf Club.
Sure. Every time you kept talking about it growing, it reminds me of the Hangover where the guy's like, it was just the four wolf pack, and now it's eight, and then it's 20, and now it's 30 best friends. But anyways, the name is changing. I'm sad about it. I thought the name we had was great. But if you want to change it, I mean, in the climate of the world, maybe it's not good to have that name right now. Maybe we'll change it again when golf gets boring in 10 years and it's not as popular. Anyways, I want to move on to something that I've been putting a lot of effort into, and I think I've been getting shut down a lot, and I really don't. My feelings have been a little hurt about this. It's our 10th year. You've been saying you want to do something different, something special. There's a name change. You saying there's a lot of changes, and people like don't like change. My idea with last week's episode, we had Sung on, and he was talking about a cut line, and I really love this idea of the cut line. I don't know if we should do 12 or 16. I think 12 is a little severe. I mean, that would get a lot of the sandbaggers out, but I would like to do 16 just because I would love to do a match play bracket playoff? You want to keep it the same way we've been doing, where it's just stroke play and there's the whole field of everybody? What are you trying to do this year? Because I have some thoughts on what I want to do.
Well, I think it depends if we go 12 or 16. And it's really dependent on how many people join the league. At least right now, under the assumption of 30 joining and only 16 make it, we're already cutting 50% of it, the members. So I feel like 16 is better, but if we have our normal 20, 12 is going to be very severe for a cut line. And proportionally, it's probably in line to do what the PGA is doing. But I feel like for the amount of people that we have, and I'm not looking to create the having a culture still of, participation, but I do feel like we should still have a little inclusion. So I think 16 is probably the appropriate number for people that still have a chance, because 12, yeah, it is very severe. Uh, and I don't know if it's going to necessarily get rid of sandbaggers.
12
It's
would.
just, it's going to,
It's only top 12. I mean, yeah, if it was only top 12 who made it, it would feel like every event's a playoff where everyone's on each other's ass. No one's giving any leniency anywhere. I feel like.
well, yeah, but it would also boil down to the amount of attendance and points too. So if you showed up to every event and you're kind of in the middle of a pack, you could accumulate enough points to making it. So on one hand, if you have it 12, it's going to reward people that show up to more events for attendance. Whereas 16, maybe you can't make all the events. And I know we're going to include a flex time anyway, so that's probably going to help. But I just feel like 12 is just, it's too big of a number. And on top of it, with us introducing a handicap allowance, that's already, we don't know how that's going to play out. So because we have a handicap allowance that we don't know how it's going to play out, I think it's better to have that and still allow, let's say, if we have 20 people, majority of the individuals to be able to make the playoffs. That's my take. So I think we had to figure out if we were cool with 12 or 16. So
Are you trying to do
I'm
stroke
pushing.
play or are you trying to do match play playoff?
It depends on what we agree on between 12 or 16 people.
Okay, let's say we agree to 16. Because I don't think 12 should, I don't think it's 12. It should be 12.
Yeah. So, all right, let's just, then we agree that it should be 16.
Yeah, as long as we have like 25 people or more join. If it's only 22 and we're only limiting 7, I mean, we went from first round having 22 people and then cutting it straight to 8.
Yeah, that was just more for logistics. And I was just following, NCAA, Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4. That was
I
kind of the
understand.
idea behind it. That's why I did it
So
that way.
so let's just agree that the cut's going to be 16 people because I think there's going to be at least maybe like 28 people. I've been on a recruiting sprees. Let's just say there's like 28 people who join. What do you want? Well, I want to do match play the bracket. I think that would be a really fun idea, something different. It's our 10th year. You've been saying 10 years, 10 years, gotta do something special. This is special. It's a different way of playing. We've been only strictly doing stroke play for years now. So I think incorporating something different like this would be fun. Handicaps are still involved, and it's just a different mentality of playing your opponent. It's a one-on-one game now for you to advance. I kind of like it. I think it's a different kind of mentality because if you, let's say a high handicapper, or let's just say let's just say like an 18 to handicap person has a 10 on a hole, like they're kind of out. But if you have a blow up hole, you lost one hole. There's 17 others where you could kind of bounce back.
Yeah. So if the proposal is a bracket with match play versus sticking to our original playoff, I'm in favor of leaving it the way it is for playoffs. Because in the regular season, you're playing a way to survive and get points and make this cut and obviously get first place. And we got to figure out what the reward would be for first place. So if we do stroke play and leave it the way it is, I like the leaderboard too. I know Sung mentioned it, but I do like looking at the leaderboard to see that competition. And especially when you're playing a regular season that way too, because if you're in the middle of the pack, you are looking at the leaderboard going, who's in first? What do I need to do? Right? Your whole mentality is to adjust to what's going on. And then I think if you go to a playoff with a bracket and do a match play, well, it changes everything in terms of what you worked for the entire year. So that's why I like stroke play. And you're going to change the entire dynamics of going, hey, we're going to do stroke play for regular season, and then you're going to go match play. So imagine that for basketball, you're playing a regular season 5-on-5, and playoffs come around. Hey, you know what? It's gonna be 3 versus 3 half court. It just changes
The
everything
playoffs
the
have
way you.
eliminations though too, so I don't see the I
Yeah,
don't
but we have elimination too. We have elimination, but you're asking to change the way of how you play it. So if you think about it, if you play basketball and you do 5-on-5 all 82 games, and then you go into the playoffs where it's still a little elimination, but there's a 7-game series, and now you're saying, "Hey, we're gonna go 3 versus 3 and play half court, and we're only gonna
doesn't
play
football have ties?
a regular season," yes,
Do they have
but
ties in the playoffs?
there has to be a winner.
There's a
But we
Ryder
do
Cup
have there,
for there's a Ryder Cup.
but
Would you
that's a
say
different event.
the Ryder Cup has more excitement at events than a regular event?
Yeah, it does, but the identity of that is different because the Ryder Cup is designed to be a team event. So when you have it that way, you know what you're playing for. And on top of it, for the Ryder Cup, all season long, the players are grinding to make this team. Now, if you're going to use the Ryder Cup as an example, sure, maybe at the end of the season, we can have a Ryder Cup, and based on the points and things like that, only X amount of people will make a team.
Nah, I don't like that. Like if we're gonna keep
Yeah,
stroke
well,
play, then it's got to be 12 people make it. That's a 12-person cut.
no, I mean,
16
I
people
think
is too many
16.
people. It's too many people.
Well, again, it's the unknown of
You're
how
still
many sign up, but
you're doing the inclusion thing again. There's no one person could win one event and they make it.
that's fine. The PGA has it that you have to play X amount of events. You don't have to play them all. And I know the PGA, let's just say, I think their field is 200, only 70 make it to the FedEx playoffs. So that's what I'm saying. I know it's pretty severe on their end, but they have
That's a
200.
very severe cut then.
Yeah,
200 to
but they
70,
have a
that's more
lot,
than 50%. That's like
but they also have way more events than we do.
65% get cut.
But they have more events than we do. So I think you have to account for that based on us having 9 regular season events versus the PGA. I mean, in 1 month, they're going to have 4. So in 2 months, they're going to have enough more events almost than us.
I don't
So
know.
for,
You asked for some exciting changes. 10th year, want to do something different, and we're not even doing anything different. It's the same thing.
what are
Nothing
you
has
talking
changed.
about?
What has changed?
We incorporated a handicap allowance. I feel like that's a very
That's still the
big
same
change.
thing. It's still the same thing. It's still a handicap.
No,
It's still
and
a
we're
handicap. Nothing
introducing a
has
cut
changed.
line. No,
Okay.
because what, I'll let you finish.
Okay. So let's just say we don't get more members. We're at 22 or 23. What? You're gonna eliminate 5 people? Dude, it's not a lot.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. 5 people out of 22 people?
Yeah.
That's not a lot. 6.
Why? Okay, so let's run through the changes here. We're gonna have a handicap allowance. We're already
Still a
gonna have a
handicap.
cut line.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not at 100%.
But the percentages are the same no matter what.
Sure, yes.
If your options make 20%, what's the difference? Still 20%. You make more money because you bought more contracts? You spent more money per contract? It's still 20%. Doesn't matter. 20% is 20%. Go on. What are changes?
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, fine. Yeah. If we do a 20% handicap allowance, if that's where we're leaning towards, okay. But we're also introducing this year a cut line that we've never done. I mean, people have been cut, but because they couldn't make the schedule, so you naturally the field got smaller to making it. So it was already there, but now we're actually saying, yeah, no, we're gonna have a cut line. So let's say it's 20 going 20 to 12. I think that's a pretty big number versus 16. I think 16 also still has a big, I like having a bigger field for the playoffs only for the grind aspect. So you're already grinding to make the playoffs. Then you're in the playoffs to grind that only the top 8 will make it anyways. So adding 4 extra people to the playoffs, I don't think it's going to make a huge difference.
I think match plays would be more exciting because one, during the regular season, you're fighting to make the cut and you're also fighting for seed placement. So, although we're still using our handicaps, which is still kind of even, I would rather be the number 1 seed versus facing the number 16 seed in my bracket. And then after that, then what? I'm facing like what the number 14 seed or something and the number 8 seed. So there's still a lot of reasons to play well in the regular season because yeah, your bracket might be really hard for whoever you're facing. So I just think it creates a lot more competition through people. Scheduling is gonna be a lot easier because we could just be like, all right, this is the course. Here's your opponent. You have 2 weeks to go play. All of us majority are gonna play this Saturday or this Sunday, and we're gonna face off. If you can't make these days, you need to coordinate with your partner or your opponent and play and report back whoever wins. And we can just move it along. Because last year we had to break it up in 2 days for the first playoff because we wanted to include everybody. And then
Well,
the final playoff, it took another 4 weeks to schedule that. And that took forever. And yes, weather had a little bit to play with it too, but it's also people's schedule. It's like, dude, now if we do the match play, it's just like, yo, go play. You got 2 weeks, go figure it out. You can't figure it out, you're both eliminated. Simple as that.
fine. Same example. If you use look at the playoffs that we had, scheduling wise, one person couldn't make it anyways if he made it into the finals for 4 weeks. So it would have been delayed anyway. So it doesn't matter then in terms of scheduling when you're free. And I think if you
Right.
leave it
Then
up
they
to
they just
someone
are
who's saying it's
eliminated.
free,
They're eliminated.
how are you let's say they're in the championship round. What are you gonna do? Eliminate them because their schedule's not free for 4 weeks?
And maybe you move the other person who advanced in the other one then or something.
Well, that defeats the whole purpose of the match play. At least when we had stroke play and you did it, what was that one year? Jenny was in the playoffs, but she had to go to Korea and we didn't know if she would be available. So we said, hey, worst case, the show must go on and you're gonna be cut. So you'll get fourth at least.
I got an idea. I got an
And I
idea.
think it happened.
How about a hybrid model then? It's match play brackets until the final four, and then the final four do stroke play for the championship, just like all the other years.
I don't know.
You look like you want to do it. You're just afraid of change. You're afraid of people complaining.
No,
It's a
not
great idea, and
really,
it's gonna
because
be
now
fun.
we
You know it would be more fun
no,
playing
because
a
here,
one-on-one like that. It would be
no,
way
I
more
agree. I
fun.
think match play and doing that, I think that would be fun. I think that would be really fun, right? But I think from the overall competition, if you have a regular season event where you're playing strokes to making it to the playoffs, and then you're going to change the whole way we play in match play, and then you're going to flip it again to stroke play, I think there's just a lot of going on. And on top of it, if scheduling is a big reasoning of it, well, now we're going to have to add in one more event.
For the
So
championship?
when you do it that way, you're going to add another event. So it's going to be it's literally going to add more work to what we already do.
Doesn't have that much more work. Not this playoff thing, because
It's
it's
literally
one
one
more
more
event.
event in managing, right? But you're going to have to make sure it coordinates that all these people can play together match play. So
You just tell them
now
to
you're
go
going to
play.
be kind of,
You have 2 weeks to go
yeah,
play.
we could tell them to. But
How
if
is
you're
that
gonna do
so
it
hard?
that way, what's the point? Okay, so you're gonna get okay, if your opponent can't play because we're gonna have this playoff round, you automatically advance to the next round?
No, they both get eliminated.
I'm saying if your bracket, if you let's just say 1 versus 16, you beat the 16, and then if the number is that you play the 14th seed or whoever made it between 14th and competing wise, but let's just say it's a lower seed individual that you play, and that person in the quarterfinals is not available when we have schedules. What do we do?
You eliminate them both.
If okay, so then you would advance easily because of someone's scheduling not available during when we're trying to have the next playoff event. That doesn't seem fair.
I mean,
You just lucked out to
you're
advance to the.
joining a league, you're dedicating time. And I think you said this before. If you joined a basketball league, the basketball league plays every whatever, right? I don't know how it works anymore. But if you join a basketball league, the league plays once a week and they play. And that's it. Either you free up your schedule to make it and you work around your schedule to accommodate the league you paid for and joined, or you don't. It's too easy for people to make excuses like I can't make it. Okay, well then you can't make it. How is it that it's like it's always you, me, Sung, Sun, Andrew? All of us can always make every single event. Jenny, how is it that all of us make every single event? It's because we put this at a higher priority than whatever else is going on that night or whatever it is.
Yeah,
It's not
no, I
my
mean,
fault.
to a
It's
degree,
not my fault that I love to play golf more than the next person. It's not my fault I work at getting better at this game versus the next person. But every time it's like penalizing people who love the game and want to do better. You can't coddle the people who don't want to practice, who don't want to play. I
I'm
mean,
but I'm not coddling. Yeah, I'm not looking to coddle people regarding this. I'm looking at it from a competition standpoint. If you do a bracket and we have a, let's just say whatever our playoff schedule is towards the end of August or September, and we have the playoff going into when we're trying to schedule it, and typically we schedule it based on best availability, right? That's what we do. And if we do a bracket, if these guys are not available when we're trying to do it, a handful of people might just advance just because their opponent wasn't available. That's not skill based. That's just pure luck of the draw of a lottery of who you're playing against. And then let's say that guy, there's another person that happens to the quarterfinals. So I don't love the fact that you're going to leave it up to chance for a lottery when the schedule and people playing is a little loosey goosey. I don't like that of the lottery that, yeah, if we're going to play this Saturday at Seven Bridges and we're going to book tee times, and if you're not available, you're going to be cut. And all of a sudden, 3 or 4 people can't make it that were in the playoffs, and that in their match play, they would all advance because their opponent withdrew, forcefully withdrew.
no, I said they have
That
2 weeks to
that
figure it out with their opponent. We don't I'm just
Yeah,
saying
but you're
we're
gonna
gonna
leave it
play
up
that
to the
dude.
yeah,
Yeah, if
so then what
in
happens if I can play this week? No, no, hold on.
in
That's
14
that's complete
days,
bullshit now.
in
Let me
14
finish
days,
here.
you can't figure out a
Let
day to play in 14
Can I
days.
finish?
Go ahead.
Can I finish?
I said go ahead.
Okay, all right. So if we have 16 people in the playoffs and we're gonna play Seven Bridges and there's gonna be 16 of us, and you do match play, and I'm available or you're available, right? But your opponent is not available. Now you got to reschedule your schedule to play when this guy's available when the majority of us are already playing?
I'm not sure that I have to reschedule or rearrange my schedule for that person. I'm saying I'm gonna allow 14 days for you and your opponent to figure out a day to go play golf against each other. You have 14 real days to go figure that out. If you can't figure out a day when both of you can play, you're both eliminated. It's 14 days. How hard
Why?
is that? How hard
That's
is that?
why are we no,
Because
okay, if I
playoff
can play the day that everyone could
No, because then playoff two, whatever happens on playoff two, it's always people could play this day and the top eight could play this day and it could work this day. And it's all a bunch of, I feel like we've gotten lucky for 9 years being able to schedule 8 people to play in the playoff two. Because what are you going to do if one person can't make it or 2 people can't make it? What are you going to do if three people can't make the dates work in a month for playoff two? Well, then 3 people are eliminated? What's the difference?
well, that's what we've been doing because it's more fair to the majority that can make that day
I
versus 3
feel
other
like we've
people
been
that can't.
getting lucky with that type of scheduling
I don't think we've been getting no, how can you say we've been lucky for 9 years? It's just the way that it
because it just
works in
so
terms of
happened to
the
work
playoffs
out.
that
It just so happened to
yeah,
work out
because we
every
made
single
it a
time.
no, that's not true because we actually said, "Hey, this is gonna be the playoffs and this is how it's gonna go, and we gotta wrap up." We can't just go, "Oh, hey, if you're free in 3 weeks, we'll just stop what we're doing and then you could just join us."
We
No,
kind of
fuck that,
have been
dude.
doing that.
That's bullshit.
We kind of have been
No,
doing that.
no, we haven't. No,
Okay.
we have it majority, and if you can't attend it, then we'll move on. The only problem is when people have lack of availability and then they can't play. But I think we also said, hey, you guys got to figure this out, and especially last year because it was just getting too crazy. But we said this is going to be the date. If you can't make it, you're going to be eliminated. So figure it out,
We gave
and
people
they
two
figured it
days.
out. And I
We gave
think if
people
you
two
go
days.
but if you do a match play, I think if you really look at it and you draw it out, and then you look at a scheduling part, and you have majority playing one day, and then all of a sudden the 3 people that can't make it that you're supposed to play, now the person that made the playoffs and is available has to reschedule because one dude can't make it.
They're not rescheduling because they're not playing that day. It's not a reschedule.
But what I still would have to accommodate to another person's individual schedule when I'm already agreeing to the majority people's schedule to play.
Dude, we're golfers. You're acting like people only play once a year. You have 14 days to figure
That's
out a
not the
day to play with
point. That's
somebody.
not the point.
Okay.
If all of us are James, if all of us are playing together on a designated day that everyone has agreed that hey, my schedule's free around this schedule, and we book the majority to play, but then that one guy can't join, Now I have to figure out this guy's schedule and work around that when I agreed already to play this league event this day for the majority. So that's pretty selfish of one individual that can't play, that another guy would have to make time for this guy. I don't like it.
So what do they do in a basketball league when there's playoffs? You gotta make it or you don't, play or
So
you
in a
don't.
well, I think that's a tough comparison, but I'll share with you. In a basketball league that I've played in playoffs and stuff, the teams are like maybe 4 to 6 teams, but then you have about 10 people on your roster, or about 8 on your roster. So if you're missing a person, it doesn't really affect the team overall because you can sub in and out, but you might have to sub in more frequently, right? So you would do that. Now there's one time I played in a league where one team basically just completely disappeared for the playoffs. And we subbed in guys that played saying, yeah, I'll play with this team. I'll play with this team. My team was eliminated. I'll play with these guys. So you have that you could have fill in and make up a team because one team just got completely shafted where their whole roster didn't show up, and another team got eliminated. Said, "Yeah, I want to play again. I'll run with them." So that's what you did. But when you're talking about a team aspect and more bodies, yeah, sure, it's easier. But when you're trying to do something individually, I think that's way too hard to do match play. Not only from a scheduling standpoint, but when you're doing it a regular season of stroke and then flipping it all of a sudden. Now, I think the compromise is better that, yeah, every 2 years we should do a Ryder Cup. And based on the people that make the playoffs, we could draft them to a team or they can get drafted
You're
and we
doing
could
a
have
one event
Ryder
Ryder
Cup
Cup?
match play.
A one event Ryder Cup?
I'm just spitballing here of throwing the Ryder Cup of how we can do it. But if we could wrap up the season quickly, then and weather holds up, yeah, we could have fun and do a Ryder Cup. But I think doing a match play with the bracket for a playoff scheduling wise, it's going to be a nightmare. I don't think it's fair for an individual that is available to play that day and another their opponent can't. And then all of a sudden you have to figure out when this opponent's schedule is free. It's better for him just to forfeit. But I don't think it's fair that you have the luck of the draw that you're playing against someone that has lack of availability and you advance because of that.
No, I said they both would get eliminated. Anyways, it sounds like we're just two stubborn
Why? Why would
brothers.
that's
We're just two stubborn brothers, and I'm gonna move this on to the next thing.
I think you're just disagreeing with me to disagree with me to piss me off.
You're disagreeing with me when I have a great idea. So, anyways, we'll just leave it up to the people in the comments. Let us know if you think that we should do a 16 player bracket, or we do it how we always been doing it. 16 people make the playoff, and then we all do stroke play, and then it's top 8, and then final 4. Anyways, Jeff, I have to move this along.
Well,
We are just
you
we're
might as
just two
well throw
stubborn
in
Korean
there.
brothers, and we're never going to agree. So we need to do a poll or let the comments decide what we're going to do. Jeff, we're at the turn here, and
Sure, but if you're gonna do
sure what? You got something to say?
no, I was gonna say if you're gonna say leave it up to the comments and the audience do it, you might as well tell them, hey, smash the like button
Don't forget to
and
smash the
subscribe.
like and subscribe button too. Jeff, we're at the turn. I'm gonna go get us some Uncrustables, but I want to talk about something that I found interesting that I read online. And I want to ask you, do you putt with the line or do you putt without the line on your ball? What do you do
Out of
both?
habit, I do line up. If I don't,
I said, do you do both? It's taking you a long time to respond if you have a line or no line on your ball.
well, I think my answer it depends. Usually I do line up, and that's because I was just doing it that way and I didn't know any better. But if you see me like a 20-foot putt, 30-foot putt, I probably don't line up nearly as much because I'm frustrated. But if you see me line up, that means I'm kind of in the zone. I hate to give that away. But yeah, when I line up, it means I'm more in the zone that I'm just it's more of a routine. But the further out putts, like 30, 40 feet, I try not to line up because it seems very pointless.
Wait a second. So if you're playing well, you're lining up your 30-foot, 20-footers? Is that what I'm taking away from what
Yeah,
you
it
just
is.
said?
It's just no, not really, because I said if I get frustrated or I'm like I feel defeated, that's where I'm like, whatever. Let me just putt and finish up here. But if I feel like I'm in the mix or I'm competing, it's just more of habit of saying, hey, get in the routine of lining up. You're still in it, and at 20 feet, it's still easier to see the cup and lining up. But I said if you're 30, 40 feet back, it's almost pointless because you have no idea where the cup is almost.
Okay, so at 20 feet, you're still lining up your putt if you're in the zone.
If I'm in contention and in the zone, yeah, I do it just to as a reminder to doing it.
Okay, and do
But
you feel
if I'm out
that
of it and I'm like,
I've seen you, you just kinda back tap, I've seen you do that. And do you feel the line is helping your putting or it's not helping your putting? Have you gone a whole season without no line?
okay, well, in the beginning time when we were playing, if you remember when we were just playing with the original 4 or 5 of the league when we were playing, we were kind of screwing around with a lot of the putts because we didn't know any better what we were doing. So I tried putting without the line, and I've tried doing this whole no look putt thing. You remember that?
I've done a no look as well for, like, a whole season, so yeah, I know.
Yeah, because if you remember, and it was more Henry's idea of doing the no look putt when we were working together and just playing. His research was like, "Hey, did you know Jordan Spieth does a no look putt?" And the reason was behind it is like, if you're playing basketball, you're not looking at the ball to shoot, right? You're looking at the rim and aiming to shoot. So
I
it
feel
kind
like
of
your
made
hands are
sense
still
when if you're looking at the rim.
I feel like your hands
Yeah,
are
but
still
you
in
know what I
the
mean? You're
view.
not like dribbling. Right, it is in a sense, right? But your eye's more fixated on the rim and you know where it is. It's just a habit that hands get here. But same thing for putting. It almost makes sense to look at the hole and just trust what your club is doing or your body's doing. So I tried it, but because we bet so much, I just get I don't want to leave it up to chance in doing it that way. I'd rather look at the ball and kind of see the club come through. Why?
Yeah.
Where is this going? What do you have for me?
I'm just interested to know if you putter without the putt. There are some studies that show for amateurs that, lining up putts is better for you, like, within 6 feet or 5 feet or something like that. Like, you'll make 40% more of your putts within 5 or 6 feet if you line it up. But outside of that, there's no difference. I don't line it up
So
anymore.
are you saying
I've done both. I don't even line up anymore. I put it down, I get my read, I pick a spot where I think with the right speed, it's gonna break this way and it's gonna fall in the cup like this. That's the line I take. I stand over it, I look at the line I have, and that's what I hit. I felt like when I was
you've been
doing
doing
the
that for
lineup,
No, I was saying that you've been putting that way without lining up for a long time now. At least
I
3
have,
years?
maybe even like 5. I stopped. I don't know. I was so focused on the line of the putt that I was missing them pretty bad, or, I was still missing them. So I didn't feel like I was sinking more putts doing that. I was too focused on the line of the putt that I don't think it was either it wasn't lined up correctly or I'm just really bad at putting. But I felt like with no line, I putt way better without a line. And I might line it up now for like 5 footers because I read this stat that like you make 40% more within like 5 or 6 feet. So because I'm always missing those 3, 4 footers. I need to start sinking those. So I might start lining up those putts, but I'm not gonna line up like all the other ones. And yeah, they're like Jordan Spieth with the no look. I mean, that really helped me get the speed down when I was doing that for a whole season. Like the speed of the putts I'm pretty good at, I feel like. So maybe doing that for a whole season really helped me with distance control of the putts.
And you started doing this, if you said 5 years ago, is that when you got your Scotty?
I did get my Scotty during I used my COVID relief check to get a Scotty.
Well, I was saying because I remember that you were doing that, and it was probably in time because I thought originally, I was like, "Oh, man, he's putting." I hate to admit this on camera and have a digital footprint on this, but I thought when you got the Scotty, I was like, "Oh, man, James is putting way better." But now that you say this, maybe it's not the putter and maybe it's just the Indian, not the arrow. So maybe your no lineup and just getting more of a read on the putt is way better.
It could be, I do think the putter did help though a lot. Like I don't know if it was the sense of having the Scotty, an expensive putter, a putter that a lot of pros use to win. I think a lot of that has to do with the psychologicalness of it. But I think that doing all these weird little quirky things did help me with putting and getting better. And you know, I told this to Joe because used to say this to me too. He's like, "How do you putt so well?" And I was like, honestly, playing PGA 2K. It's what really helped me. Reading the breaks on the video game has helped me in the real world. I don't know, man. I'm weird, dude, but reading the putts on the video game kind of helped me
No,
in the real world.
there's probably truth to it because I remember when we first got into golf and, remember when Rory EA Sports came out or whatever they called it after Tiger Woods, and they had all the grids on the green. We're like, oh, what's this? Because we were just, kind of learning and we didn't realize, with the red and how severe the read is actually. I mean, it definitely helped me, and especially playing that game helped me understand course management or how to play the ball. If I ever get the ball up in the air, like the wind's blowing this way, I should aim this far left and getting in there. But to stay on topic of the green, yeah, I think I know I'm not the greatest. I know we've had a lot of four putts recorded for me, but I think that's because I'm
Nice.
careless sometimes and I just check out. But I've made some big putts too. But anyways, yeah, no, I definitely anytime I play, I definitely think about Rory and like what how's this grid? Is this at a steep slope and a break here? So yeah, every time I putt, I do think about actually Rory and the greens and how the grid's set up.
Yeah. The video game definitely has helped me out. Jeff, we're moving on to the back nine here. I want to ask you, and you can pick one or two, because I have two of mine. What are your golf biggest pet peeves? I know you have a lot.
I have a lot, but
Pick your top two,
I
because
want
I
to
have
hear
two.
yours.
I'll give you one of mine, then you
Well,
gotta
let me
go.
hear
Okay,
your how about this? Okay, fine.
fair. Okay, let me start with this one.
Yeah, give me one and I'll
They're both pretty good. Okay. I hate when some random picks up your golf ball. I remember we played that one shitty course, Maple Meadows recent, like last year. Remember those kids picked up my ball and then we were looking in the area and they're like, "Oh, you're playing a TP5?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, it's right here," or "Here it is. My bad." And I'm like, I know it's similar to like a Pro V1, but it's like, do you think I'm just leaving a Pro V1 out there somewhere? I know it's a little offline. It's not on my hole, but dude, come on, man. And I will say during
dude,
the
the
during the playoff, hold on one second. During the playoff at Seven Bridges on hole like 7, the number 1 handicap with that dog, right? I don't have a fade, so mine kind of went left on the other hole on hole 8 where you're coming back. On
okay.
that hole, I go up there. There's 4 Asian I don't know if this is racist. There's 4 Asian Korean moms, and they're like, move. I think they're walking or something, and I can't find my ball for the life of me. And then I'm like, these ajumas picked
Uh-huh.
up my ball, and I asked my crew, I'm like, what do I got to do? And they're like, you got to get a lost ball. I'm like, this is some bullshit because I know that they picked up my ball, and I had to take a lost ball penalty.
Dude, the Ajumas, they're so bad. I mean, are they even Ajumas? Do we call them? I don't know. Anyways, they're so bad. They're so notorious. I remember for like ever since we started golfing, anytime we went to courses and we saw the Korean ladies out there, like, "Oh, damn, we better rush to our ball because they're gonna pick it up." I don't know what it is. Like that's so hey, you're stealing someone's golf ball that's coming down there, right? Like, give it a chance that it's someone's ball. Now, I would say if you're gonna pick up someone's ball, you gotta look around and make sure no one's coming around or no one's behind you because there's possibly it could be theirs, right? But if it's pretty wide open and the ball's just chilling there, it's probably fair to pick up. And most of the time, half the time I find these balls are freaking Kirklands or top flight, so who cares?
I
But
don't
yeah,
pick those up
on a
anyways.
nicer ball, well, I picked them up at a hit in the water, but yeah, that's so annoying. I hate it when people because was it I forgot what there was a situation that happened where someone said this to me. I was like, "That's why you shouldn't pick up people's ball." I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I feel like an asshole." And I stopped doing that
I stopped doing it
because
too. I mean,
you're right because it could be someone's ball and it's such an asshole move. If you watch this, guys, stop picking up people's balls. And especially if it's like a nice one and let's call it a $5 golf ball, dude, definitely don't. Because you know what pissed me off? And at least my playing partner was really nice about it. Before we did the 2v2 Broken Arrow, I played a couple weeks before that, and it was around Halloween. And I hit this drive. I mean, I had a fade, but the wind took it and made it a slice. And I was looking for this ball and I knew where it was. I knew where it landed. It was like near the cart path area and I knew it was safe. And I'm in the general area looking at the GPS and going, okay, this is like the yardage. I should be right around here because I know my yardage. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, where's my ball? And I kept looking and these 2 guys that were dressed in their Halloween costume was playing. Now I thought it was funny that they're playing in their costume. And then I watched them start hitting and, they're just hacking away, just having a good time. And I'm like, man, I think this kid picked up my ball because there's another ball here and this is not mine. So I don't think he was paying attention. Maybe he didn't pick it up, but he hit the wrong ball. But point being is, I fortunately my partner was like, he knew it was in this general area too. And he's like, well, it's not this one. Obviously, this is not your ball, but it's around here. And there's a very good chance that the kids that were around there when we were driving up to them, that they probably did pick it up. So he gave me a free drop.
Very nice of that person. It wasn't me, but very nice of that person.
Yes.
It sounded like it was your pet peeve I just took from you.
Yeah.
What is
One of my pet peeves, you know what bugs me though, is the flag stick. Everyone is in different areas on the green, right? And sometimes when it's never established if we're always taking the flag in or out. And more importantly, I take that back. We do establish that we're gonna play with flag out. Now, I think as a courtesy for the guys that are closer to the flag, we leave it in for the guy that's might 30, 40 feet so he can see the cup. And when those guys ask to take out the flag, you do. Most of the time, they'll finish sooner, right? So because they finish sooner, I feel like pick up the flag so the rest of us could finish. But usually what they do is they just pick up and then they just walk off. And
the first person walks
I
off?
don't know if it's an etiquette thing or if there's a well, sometimes they'll walk off or they'll just pick up their clubs if they brought, they chipped on, whatever. They're just picking up stuff so they don't forget they lose their equipment. So I totally understand that part. But they never walk back around, or maybe it's a courtesy thing that they don't want to be disruptive to the next guy's putting. But I feel like if you're the first one to finish, the first person should be the one that picks up the flag stick and puts it back in instead of it
100%.
leaving up to the last person to finish putting and then finding their equipment and then picking up the flag. So that bugs me periodically when I see. And then I'll watch and I'll like, I mean, it's a bad habit of mine, I'll admit it. I do take inventory of how many times someone's picking up the flag where I'm like, no, I'm not picking that up. So that's just petty me. But yeah, no, the flag stick really bugs me when I feel like when you finish first, you should pick up first.
I don't think that's a should thing. That is you must do. If you're the first one to finish, your job is to go and pick up the flag. And then you put it in so that everybody else could finish putting, pick up their crap, and move on to the next hole. Maybe that's also it feels pace of play. All these little things add up time. Like all these little things add on time all the time. So the first one to finish
No,
putting must pick up the flag. That's on the Bible or whatever these kids say nowadays.
for sure. I mean, if people are going to complain about pace of play, I mean, pace of play stems from literally the moment you walk on the tee box, and that's a whole different thing. But yeah, pace of play, if maybe it doesn't feel like a lot, but let's say I'm the last person to finish and I'm maybe 20 feet away and I don't even know where the other guy's going to drop the flag, right? Like he might just drop it somewhere far away so it doesn't interfere with everyone's play. So if I'm putting and I'm coming this way and then a back tap, now I got to walk all the way across, pick up the flag, come back, find my clubs and then join the group to go when all of us could just pick up and go. So I don't know. To me, it just, maybe
Who's putting
people
the
are not
flag?
aware, but I've
Who's
seen it
putting
enough.
Probably.
Yeah, and I've seen it enough, especially with, like, strangers that you play with when we're playing just us 2 and paired up with 2 people. I've seen it that people just I don't know. That one bugs me, the flag stick one.
I do have another pet peeve of mine, and maybe this
Now,
is
what's the second great pet peeve that you got?
I don't know if the second great, but it's one that I've thought of during this segment is when people are late to their tea times. Don't know if it's a great pet peeve of mine, but it's one that I thought of recently after making the segment. My other pet peeve is when people are late to your tea time. Like, I get it, people have work and things like that, but I try to get to my tea times at least 20 minutes early, maybe 30. Because one, usually I gotta poop. Two, maybe you want to take some practice swings. Three, hit some putts and just stretch out, get ready, get my cart ready, put my glove on, put my tee in my pocket, the little divot tool, put my golf balls on the cart. And what bugs me the most is I'm the anxious one when my friend is late. Like, I'm the one now who's got to go up there and be like, yeah, my friend's running 10, 15 minutes late. Can you like push someone else up in front of me. You got a full tee sheet? Man, what's going on? I don't know what to do. Like, I think it's extremely rude when people are late. And there's someone, and I'm not going to name drop, but they are always late. Even when they make the tee time to accommodate their crazy schedule, they are late. I recall one time you and I had to go get lunch and then come back an hour later just for this person.
Yeah, I ate 2 lunches because of that guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that it just yeah, I have all the anxiety when I don't really get anxious. I have all the anxiety because yeah, now it's on me. Like I'm the only one there. I'm the one getting yelled at because your playing partner is not there. And I think more golf courses should do this too. Because honestly, Torrey Pines did this to me because Ella dropped me off literally on time there. And to Torrey Pines, there's a long line to check in. So the check-in process took like 20 minutes. So and they had my playing partner go, and then they drive you to hole 2 or whatever hole your friend's on, and that's where you're at. Like, you miss hole 1, it's too bad. Then I think more places should do that.
I mean, they probably could, but it's just no, actually, yeah, I think more courses should do that because it actually happened to us at Pine what the hell's that damn course name? Preserve of Oak Meadows,
Yeah.
right? They
Who
said,
was
"Nah,
late?
man, we got to book tee time. We'll just drop off your playing partner."
Who was
Now,
late?
we won't drop names. We
They
won't we
Cowboy, they
won't
did that to Cowboy with me before too. Was it to him?
yeah, that's the time I'm talking about. Like,
Oh,
yeah, we'll
yeah.
drop him off on
That
he can catch
motherfucker's always late now that I'm thinking about it. I wasn't even thinking that was him. That motherfucker's always late.
That's why I try to show up an hour early because, but I'm also kind of thinking about it too. I'm like, okay, I'm going to check in. It's probably going to be a 10-minute process because I'm going to look around and be a tourist in the pro shop going, oh, what am I not going to buy? And I'll look around like, oh, that shirt's nice. Oh, that hat. Oh, and I'm like, nah, man, I have too much stuff. So let's just keep the money in the pockets here today. And I'll just look around just for fun. So I'll kill like 10 minutes, 15 minutes in the clubhouse looking at their stuff, obviously bathroom break, getting ready, right? You're just kind of preparing, doing all that stuff. And then if you want to practice putting, stretching, like you have to do that. But you know what's crazy is when we talked about it for basketball, a lot of times when we were playing basketball, people showed up like almost 20 minutes early or 30 minutes early to stretch out actually before playing. And it's crazy to me, like golf, people don't show up a little early to stretch out, just kind of settle in. That's why for me, I don't mean to show up like that because I'm like early, but I just want to get it settled in and where I'm going to be at as opposed to getting there 15 minutes later, then being settled in, you know? Yeah, I think it's just, again, it's just rude when people don't respect your time and all of a sudden, like everything revolves around your world. It's like, okay, we got a 9 a.m. tea time. I look at it, I'm like, okay, it's a 30, 40-minute drive. I'm going to get my breakfast at Champions and swing by McDonald's, get a egg McMuffin, hash brown, and eat and drive. And I know that it's going to take maybe 15 minutes sometimes in drive through. So you just have to plan accordingly. So I don't know why it is that people do that. It's just you're not giving yourself enough time. I don't mind checking in people and paying, but I definitely do hate it where it's like, man, because it's not only just affecting me, it's the guys behind us. They're going to be right up our ass because we didn't get enough time to play. And it's just overall, it's just rude, right? It's just rude not to show up on time to a scheduled event.
I 100% agree. Do you have another pet peeve or do I have all the good ones right there?
No, I mean, I have a list and I can go on and on about pet peeves, but maybe we could bring some up per segment. I mean, I do like this pet peeve one, but I would say I at least maybe not a pet peeve, but I would definitely say golf etiquettes. Like if anyone that's just starting the game, I remember a friend saying this, and I mentioned it before. So I'll just say that in general, people should just learn the rules of golf and the etiquettes of it before playing. Because there's too many times I've seen it where, sure, you want to play, you're just learning, cool, I'll play with you, whatever. Like, I want to play, you want to play, let's just get out there. But then it's like, you're walking in my line, and I know you're trying to be nice about it, and you're tippy toeing around it, or you're trying to jump over my line, and actually you stomped on it, and then you don't have a ball marker, and your ball's in my way. So it's like, just kind of learn some of this stuff before you go out there and learn what is okay and what is not okay.
I agree. I think people should learn. But, I feel like when you start golfing, you're starting golf with other new golfers. And I could be wrong about that. So I feel like if you're starting, you have three other noobs golfing with you. So maybe no one knows the etiquettes. Because again, like I don't want to play with a 30 handicap, or I don't want to play with someone who's just starting. So it's unless they're your best friend. And even if they are your best friend, do you really want to go out there with them?
For me, I don't have a problem playing with someone that's horrendous. That's not
Because
a
you're bad.
problem. It's just, did you call me bad?
Yeah, it's because you're bad.
I can hold my own, but I don't mind playing with someone that's bad and wanting to learn. But I think part of the hard part is you don't want to come off like as an asshole when you're playing. Or you can't do this. Or you can't do that. You shouldn't do this. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to get too nitpicky in a lot of the stuff that would be golf etiquettes that fall into pet peeves, especially when you're playing with someone new. I don't know. I just don't want to be their dad out there doing that stuff. Unless it's like, I guess it's really more of a communication thing where I should probably say, hey, dude, if I sound like I'm a dick out here because I'm just telling you all the rules, I'm just telling you the rules. Like, I'm not saying this because you're pissing me off. It's just, you're going to piss off other people when you're playing. If you want to step in my line, cool. It doesn't bug me too much, but if you trample across it and walk up and down it, yeah, it's kind of annoying.
I 100% agree. I totally agree. Well, Jeff, that's the end of our back nine. I want to close up here. One, we couldn't agree on a big, huge topic of ours, and we're going to need some help from people. So I would like for them to comment what we should do with our playoff this year. We'd agreed to have a cut line of 16 people, it sounds like, but we can't figure out if we want to do play a match play playoff bracket or just stroke play like how we've always done. Maybe one of these episodes we could talk about the golf league and how it started and how we run it. So maybe someone in another state wants to do it. I don't know if you have any fans out there. We're open enrollment. So we're building something great here. Please like, subscribe. Jeff, I kind of been ending the episodes like this lately. Do you have any final thoughts about what we've talked about today, or any last little rants you want to go on before we go our separate ways here?
One thing I wanted to touch on back on a final thought, hole 18 for Hideki.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was thinking about it because I missed the part of someone swinging his backswing, and I don't think sometimes people understand this game. It screws with your mind a lot, and when you're putting, you're so concentrated. And I feel terrible that I did this because normally I feel like I'm pretty calm about stuff, and I try not to lash out. But I didn't tell you this, but one time we were playing Blackstone, and one of the playing partners, he just cannot stand still. And he's standing next to me in my eyesight putting, and he's like playing pocket pinball. So I hear all his like tees and golf ball jiggling in my backswing. And I'm like, you couldn't give me like 5 seconds? So
That's
to the
Tiger's
fan that
dad.
did that,
Tiger's dad did that to him.
yeah, but that's when they were practicing. We're betting out there, and it's
Why?
kind of an important putt.
That's why you'll never be great. So
Well, I
nobody
was
will remember your name.
that's you might yeah, but you know what? For Hideki playing for millions of dollars and that putt's on the line that he needs to make to win, and that fan does that, yeah, it sucks. Maybe I don't know what happened exactly. I missed that part, but I thought I was safe in my bet with that one, so that's why I stopped watching. But yeah, final thoughts. Putting green, guys, just chill.
That's a good one. I mean, a lot of people do make it seems like people are always making noise in your swing and not anybody else's all the time.
They don't.
You just
Because
have
I'm
bad
always
timing.
closest to the pin. I'm
You
closest
don't
to the pin.
you gotta start winning the hole and teeing off first, because always the person who gets last is always getting noise and stuff. So maybe that's on you to get better, Jeff. Anyways, my final thought here is I've been keeping a strict eye on the weather, and we have a tea time on Sunday, Jeff. And I know you've been chirping a lot, talking a lot of shit with a lot of people, especially me, talking about brother versus brother, you being a better golfer. I don't even know what the hell you're on lately. But we have a tea time on Sunday. There's 8 of us. Is this just an exhibition round, or are we like, because I haven't swung a club in a while. I don't even know what's gonna happen out there. Is this just practice? Because I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to walk on Sunday. There's still snow on the ground when I looked outside today. I don't know if it'll all melt by Sunday, and even if it does, the ground is probably gonna be pretty hard. It's gonna be wet. So are we counting it? What are we doing? Because as soon as the next podcast we record, one of us is gonna be talking some shit.
I would say it's preseason because,
Okay. Okay.
right? Well, I guess I don't need to even explain it. You agree that it's preseason. Preseason.
No, no, it is. But I mean, I'm not gonna make any excuses. I could beat you without a driver. So, I mean, preseason, no preseason, I don't care. It doesn't matter. You can't beat me
That's
straight
fine.
up.
I developed this thing. I've never had this much pain ever. Had it. Golfer's elbow. Holy cow! This shit hurts.
I know. I get it every
I,
year.
like I
Not
I had
anymore.
like I had food in the passenger seat and I was trying to pick up the bag. I was like, oh my god, this like just picking up like 3 pounds of food or whatever it was. This small
Three
little
pounds
bag.
of
I'm like,
food.
I don't know how much it weighs. Okay, it was not 3 pounds, but my point. I'm just picking it up. I was like, oh shit, this hurts. So yeah, preseason, dude.
Yeah,
But not for Sung. Sung, I'm whooping his ass.
oh, okay, alright.
Yeah.
You used to tell me when I got golfer's elbow every year is that I had bad form or a bad swing, so welcome to the club, except I don't get it anymore. So that's interesting that you have it now. Anyways, I will see you
So maybe I was
Sunday.
saying something truthful.
Yeah, I'll take advice from you when you can finally beat me in golf. Anyways, that wraps up the show today. I will see you on Sunday. I'm gonna put a hurting on that ass, but I guess we're just playing for fun, and you're gonna play some for some money. So good luck to you on Sunday, and I'll see you Sunday, and we'll see you next week on the podcast.
All right, see you.
See you.